Welcome to LFC Transfer Hub. Newcastle United suffer transfer setback amid Alexander Isak to Liverpool saga. Newcastle United have reportedly suffered a setback in their pursuit of Jørgen Strand Larsen. The Magpies have already had 2 bids rejected for the Wolverhampton Wanderers forward this summer. And although The Athletic is reporting that the forward has politely informed the Midlands club of his wish to make the move to St James Park Club, the report also says that Wolves chairman Jeff Schur has informed Strand Larsen that a move would not be possible this window. The development comes as Liverpool continue to be linked with a move for Alexander Isak after seeing an £110 million bid rejected earlier this summer. The Sweden international is training alone, having indicated his desire to leave the club despite having 3 years left on his contract. The 25-year-old also issued a statement last week claiming promises made to him by the club have been broken, and the relationship can't continue. Reports emerged on Monday claiming that Isak and members of the Newcastle hierarchy had met ahead of the game against Liverpool. Addressing the situation following his side's 3-2 defeat to the Reds on Monday night, Eddie Howe said, "I've not been party to talks on this for a long time now. I've been preparing the team and giving all my energy to the players that want to play for Newcastle. I think that is where my energy is best put at the moment. We want clarity, we want to move forward, we want the narrative to change because we're in the start of the season now. We're into the action and we've got to get results and we've got to try to focus on what we can control. We've given 2 really good performances, we've ended up with 1 point. That's tough for us to take, especially in this moment where you're looking for positives to cling to. But we battle through and we now go on to Leeds." Newcastle slammed by former hero for Alexander Isak to Liverpool transfer shambles. Like a pub team, Chris Waddle has urged Newcastle United to let Alexander Isak complete his British record move to Liverpool before the close of the transfer window, slamming the ongoing saga as a shambles that has been handled like a pub team. And the former Magpies hero believes the money on offer from the Premier League champions means a sale is a must to reinvest wisely as the September 1st deadline looms. Liverpool had a £110 million bid rejected by their Premier League counterparts at the start of the month after Isak refused to travel to the Far East for a pre-season tour in July, citing a minor injury. The Sweden international hasn't played for his current employers since May and released an explosive statement on August 19th. Moments after being included in the PFA's Team of the Season for 24-25, claiming that promises had been broken and trust had been lost over his situation at St James Park. Newcastle have so far been steadfast in their refusal to sell the one-away Isak, but are planning to bolster their squad with other frontline options as talks remain ongoing with Brentford and Wolves for Jon Wissa and Jørgen Strand Larsen, respectively. Waddle slammed the whole affair and called for the club he played for between 1980 and 1985 to finally sanction the departure of a player who has made it clear he wants to leave. "If I were Newcastle, I would sell Alexander Isak this week," the ex-England star told eSports Bets. "I know a lot of fans are urging the club to keep him to punish him, but we're not talking about a player that is worth a couple £1,000,000. Isak's transfer would be a 9-figure sum, an incredible amount of money. There's too much money involved for him to sit in the reserves. If he does leave and Liverpool is his destination, I'd take the £100 million plus add-ons and that would be the end of the chapter. The whole situation has been a shambles. It's been handled like a pub team. It's embarrassing. Whether it's Isak himself or his agent, they've gone about it in completely the wrong way. Isak is going to be very hard to replace. He picks the ball up in deeper areas and can create a goal all by himself. No one available on the market is as technically adept as Isak. More often than not, they require service and the ball in the box to score. While Jørgen Strand Larsen and Nicholas Jackson have been linked as possible replacements, neither are on Isak's level. I'm sure there are some hidden gems around the world in other continents like South America or Africa that could grow to become a similar player, but I don't know of anyone in the Premier League who would be a realistic replacement. Isak was visited by a delegation from Newcastle's ownership group, the Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia, including PIF chairman Yasser Al-Rumayyan, on Monday in a late attempt to change the frontman's mind. However, the 25-year-old is said to be determined to force through his dream move to Anfield. Liverpool told Alexander Isak transfer reality, with agreement expected. Emile Heskey believes an agreement will be reached between Liverpool and Newcastle United in the final days of the transfer window for Alexander Isak, and the Sweden international has been tipped to be a roaring success at Anfield. The Premier League champions had a £110 million bid rejected for Isak at the beginning of the month after the forward had opted against flying out on the Magpies' pre-season tour of the Far East before returning to training at the facilities of his former club, Real Sociedad. Last week, Isak, who hasn't kicked a ball for Newcastle since May, released an explosive statement on his Instagram account citing broken promises and lost trust before the club hurried out a response insisting the conditions to allow their star striker to leave had not yet been met. Meanwhile, the Magpies have found sourcing a successor difficult, having failed to land Liam Delap and João Pedro, who both joined Chelsea, Hugo Ekitike, who moved to Anfield, and Benjamin Sesko, who completed a £73 million move to Manchester United earlier this month. Eddie Howe's recruitment team are currently attempting to bring in Jon Wissa from Brentford and Jorgen Strand Larsen of Wolverhampton Wanderers. I think Newcastle and Liverpool will come to some agreement, Heskey said. It's disappointing how it's actually played out, but it probably works in both teams' favor that they come to some agreement. But the reality is, as a club, if you've got a contract with a player, you hold the ace. So I don't blame Newcastle at all. They have to try and get the best they can out of their asset. The hoo-ha that they're having around that right now, and the pressure that is probably there, is a lot different to what I would have had to go through. First and foremost is to enjoy it. If Isak's move to Liverpool happens, the fans are going to love you. One of the best things about Liverpool fans is they love and get behind their players. I know he's gone now, but look at Darwin Núñez. There was a lot of pressure on him to score goals, but the fans got behind him, sang his name, and made him very welcome whenever he was on the pitch. And they're always like that. They'll always get behind you as long as you work hard and produce. Former England international Heskey, who was speaking to Gambling.com, added, "I've got no doubt that Isak will produce. He'll be fantastic if he eventually comes. They do need someone else. The reality is you always need two strikers that challenge each other, because you push each other to try and be better. We played with two up front, so we had five in my time at Liverpool. You're always pushing each other because you're at the biggest club in the world and you've got to be challenged all the time. You've got to be challenged to push yourself to do better and do more and more. So having someone that pushes these players is key in each position. If you get complacent, that's when bad things can happen. But I definitely think there." On the other hand, Liverpool player sold for £18 million secures free transfer after 3 months without a club. Former Liverpool striker Danny Ings has joined Championship side Sheffield United on a free transfer after leaving West Ham United earlier this summer. The 33-year-old signed for Liverpool in 2015 from Burnley for £6.5 million plus bonuses, having scored 36 goals across his previous 2 seasons for the Clarets. His prolific form earned him Championship Player of the Year and helped Burnley secure promotion to the Premier League. Ings endured a difficult 3 years at Anfield. After making a bright start, he suffered an ACL injury that ruled him out for almost the entirety of the 2015-16 campaign, returning only for the final match. Just as he began to regain fitness for the following campaign, another knee injury struck, sidelining him for 9 more months. On his eventual return, regular opportunities were limited with Roberto Firmino, Mohamed Salah and Sadio Mane established as Jurgen Klopp's front line. Although Ings never built a lasting legacy at Liverpool, supporters will likely be pleased to see him given another opportunity, this time with the Blades. The striker has signed a 1-year deal with the option to extend. Sheffield United, who reached the playoff final last season, have endured a poor start to the Championship, losing their first 3 games and sitting bottom of the table. Since leaving Liverpool in 2018, Ings has represented Southampton, Aston Villa and West Ham. His £18 million switch to the Saints proved his most successful spell, with 25 goals in 42 appearances during his second season. Liverpool profited from that deal, with Burnley also receiving a cut through a 20% sell-on clause. After short stints at Villa and West Ham that failed to match his Southampton form, Ings now returns to the championship after 3 months without a club.